What is going on, guys? Crucible here, and today we're going to be revisiting Super Saiyan Daima Goku. He got a little bit of support going into set 6, not a whole lot, but I think it's enough to really kind of make him better, actually. It's amazing that, where'd he go? It's amazing that this one card is able to do so much. So, I mean, this Shin is a perfect companion piece to this deck. It allows you to self-awaken while also being able to cheat out a 2 cost or less. And if there's one thing that this deck is really known for, it's known for having really good 2 costs. You got 2 costs such as, obviously, this guy who force self-awakens, but is a 30k when you are awakened. You got Tamagami 2, which is a very hard blocker to remove, just due to the fact that you gotta kill him twice in order to actually have him removed. Pansy. Obviously, if Pansy goes, you have to draw 2 cards. So she's not only aggression, but she's also utility, which is great. And then they also got this guy, and you'll be surprised to see in my showcase today how many times I'm able to get swings off with this guy and have it actually work in my favor. Being a 10k body or 10k combo is actually very useful. And depending on your situation, the discard 1 is very inconsequential. Like, I'm probably only swinging with this twice when I'm trying to really put on the pressure. It's not all the time that I'm going to be discarding a card to do this. But yeah, I mean, this card did come in handy in our showcases. Outside of that, this deck is more or less just kind of the same. Obviously, Glorio is still the big, boss of this deck. Just being able to minus your your opponent's leader by 5, forces them to kind of really push for or defend a lot more with their combo pieces. 2 of this, because we're not always playing this, margaritas to boost power even more, especially on the Glorio. A couple of these Shins to remove smaller K bodies, or to get its over to pop off just a little bit easier. We got the Nevas to be able to search and stuff. If there's one thing that I would adjust in this deck, it would probably be to remove this Pansy for maybe some 1-cost Whis, or something that can either, or just because the only thing with this Pansy is that Margarita's just doing it better. She's 10k power, so you're able to buff herself and swing with her if you wanted to. She's 10k combo, and then she boosts by 10, whereas this is only by 5. But I guess this affects the leaders, so like it could be beneficial when you have a Glorio in play. Maybe adding in an extra 5 onto your leader to force out a super combo or something. I don't know. But yeah, with that said, that's the deck. Let's get into the games. Alright, so this first match is up against Bardock. And Bardock was a little bit of an outlier. I wasn't really expecting to see Bardock in the ranked ladder. We start off with a pretty abysmal hand, all things considered. We do have a Goku here, which is good, but like everything else we can't really play here. So unfortunately it is what it is. But we did get our Shin, which is a good thing. And we're saving these for certain cards. We don't necessarily want to burn through our 1-cost Shins unless we absolutely have to. Like, this is like a perfect card to go against the Double Striker. Put this on the Double Striker, put this on the Secret Rare, to be able to, use its over if needed. But yeah, he's showcasing the power of Shin here. I decided to get a little aggressive. With this board, I don't want Bardock to necessarily awaken right out the gate, but he gave us so many cards. He gave us 4 cards just to protect 1 Glorio, which is just not worth it. So, and obviously we have enough combo in our hand that we can actually be a little, we can be a little defensive ourselves. So, and all we do is just focus board. Let him kind of just do his thing, and we'll keep building up our board, build it higher and higher as we kind of go, and So at this point, I'm forcing him. I'm telling him, hey, like, you need to let this go. Just played the 1-cost Shin, did 1 swing at face. And then obviously Tamagami is now, like, prepared. So now we can kind of play defensive and protect if we need to. So we know this is the only thing that he can do, so we can block this with ease and not having any issues. So here we play Son Goku Mini. And I chose not to double swing because I didn't boost him up by 5 or by 10, so I didn't see the real need to like discard a card to like reactivate him. And we go after the Super Saiyan 4 because we don't want him to keep drawing forever. And then obviously we play Tamagami number 2 again. So now we have 2 on board. Now it's going to be a little bit harder for him to remove this. And he swings with the crit, and he goes for the Goku, which is perfectly fine. I probably would have focused on the Tamagami maybe, but... Yep, but now it's Glorio time. Glorio's going to get the job done. And this is the other thing about this guy, too, is that, like, in this particular case, since the leader is at 15,000 power, we can actually discard a card here and get 2 swings with this guy, which is going to be... he's going to have to give us 2 cards to our 1, which is great. Yep, and we just swing, and we swing, and we swing, and we swing. And obviously we're going to clear board. And put a little bit more damage on him. Keep the Margarita up just for extra combo power, nothing too crazy. We still have our 2 blockers. Yep, and we know Glorio is going to go away. And then I think we play Neva here, and Neva allows us to find a Glorio again. No, we got a Pansy. Never mind. Pansy still works here, though. Because it's a 20k body that we can boost up. And we got another Pansy. And regardless of whether we drew Pansy or not, like, we still have the Tamagamis that we could swing in once. And he had nothing. So, it was very heavy aggro for a low cost threshold. Seems to work really well for this deck. Let's go on to the next one. Alright, so this one we end up going up against, I believe it was U7? No, it was TOP. This is what threw me off. That's right. I forgot it was TOP. So TOP was interesting. This wasn't the match that I want. That it's not going to be like a wow factor in any way for this particular match, but because I think a lot of this is from like starter deck Goku stuff and whatnot. But I wanted to at least give this. I at least wanted to throw this in here because I feel like it's important that we talk about Topu just a little bit. Topu needs support. Topu needs help. Like the fact that like Bandai, and don't get me wrong, set 2 meta was atrocious. Topu was just way ahead of the curve compared to every other color in the game, and I think that in the moment he needed to be hit in some way just to make sure that the game doesn't die, you know. But that being said, what kind of hurts this deck is the fact that the ban list hurt this deck. Like, you look at anything that, like in this particular matchup here, you look at what this Goku is able to do compared to what, you know, he's able to do, and it's like, okay, so why are we allowing this? Like, so Super Saiyan Daima is able to cheat out bodies, but Topu's not allowed to cheat out bodies. I don't know. It just feels weird. And like, it's a little interesting to even look at Topu and see what the meta was doing in the next couple sets, and it's like two sets away, Super Boo exists. One set away, Halo Q exists. So it's like right around the corner from when Topu came out, there were going to be just as oppressive decks that are still relevant and are still meta-defining at this point in the game, right? So with those decks existing and being the meta-defining decks that they are, why is Topu the one that needed to be hit? So I said this before, and I'll say it again. I think the ban list in particular that Bandai created for because of Topu, I think was prematurely done. I don't think it was a very well thought out ban list. I think because if you look at what everyone was kind of yelling and complaining about with Topu, like, it's clear that Bandai only banned the cards that people complained about so that they wouldn't lose player interest, is basically what they did. They didn't really stop to think and look at what the problem areas for Topu were at that current moment, and didn't, and obviously, like, I just don't think that they thought it out well enough. I don't think they took the time to really, like, you know, do anything about it, right? But no, in terms of Topu in this current meta, I mean, look at what he's doing. Like, I mean, this probably isn't like the most ideal build, right? But it's still like, he could be doing better than this, right? I don't know. I think if you were to ask me what I would expect to see from Topu going forward, I would expect to see Kefla unbanned. Let Kefla breathe. Let her kind of do her thing. I would even say that there's now a bunch of double strikers out there that are like 4 cost, that are 4 cost. The Shallot deck is getting a 2 cost Shallot double striker now. Like, there's cheap and costed cards that are in the meta currently, where you could justify bringing Ribrianne back, and Ribrianne I think would be fine in this current meta. She's a 4 cost that can be cheated out for 1 with Topu, and she's only 20k power. The only card that I would say not to bring back in order to keep Topu semi-balanced would be to keep Roshi banned. Maybe that could change in the future. Maybe it won't be as bad in the future, but bring back Kefla, make her unrestricted. Bring back Ribrianne, make her unrestricted. And I think Topu could definitely be a contender in the current meta. Maybe not. I don't know if he would be able to outpace Halo Q. I don't know if he might be able to outpace Halo Q, honestly, because of how wide he could probably build. I don't know if he can contend with Super Boo necessarily. That'd be a little questionable. And Daima Goku would just eat this deck up probably. But or Daima Vegeta, I should say. But yeah, I don't know. Topu definitely needs to be unrestricted now. He definitely needs support. All right, so we ran into another Bardock. Just kind of going through this because it's relatively the same. This guy probably played the Bardock deck just a little bit better. Yeah, I mean, our hand is kind of like similar yet not similar to like what it was before. We got secret rares, which is kind of cool. So, so the one thing that I think I might have, I was really like pushing and hoping that I found a Shin, but unfortunately in this particular matchup, Shin just like eluded me completely. I was not able to find the Shin to be able to awaken in the time that I wanted to. So I opted to do the Tamagami 3. Knowing full well that I probably wasn't going to really be able to do anything that I wanted to do. He's got 2 25Ks on board, which is a little hard for us to get over until we're awakened, so it just kind of is what it is. So I decided to opt in for the Pansy. And we're going to try to choose to remove one of these cards, right? And I probably could have comboed a 5 on that, but was kind of just is what it is, right? Like, it's little itty bitty things. So he's going wide. He's doing He's doing Bardock things. But he did kind of misplay. He did kind of misplay there. Did he misplay there? Oh, no, yeah, because it's... Yeah, he did... I think he misplayed a little bit, because what he should have done was he should have comboed a card first to draw off of this guy, and then he would have gotten another card to replace that. So, like, he misplayed there a little bit, but... But we have to kind of play a little defensive here. So since we weren't able to find Shin and we weren't really able to build wide like we wanted to, like, we now have to kind of play around. We kind of have to play around in hopes that we can build up to 6 to be able to board wipe this guy, right? And I thought swinging at the Bardock here with the Pansy for 30 would be enough, right? Yeah, I don't mind comboing cards. We can, because now they stand out on hand. We can kind of do... And he gives us another super, which is perfectly fine too. Yeah, so now things are kind of equaled out just a little bit. We can still play somewhat defensive, and we know that we can play our secret rare going into next turn. But he's got Glorios. So we really start thinning out here. And he's doing the thing he's probably supposed to do, which is keeping the pansies, you know, just don't even interact with the pansies. Don't even give me cards. Like, it perfectly makes sense. Yep, so we play Secret Rare. We swing into one of the Glorios. Because there's no reason for him to defend any of this. And then obviously we boost up Pansy, so Pansy is able to swing for 30. He's just going to take it because he's going to probably try to go for game next turn. I went with the assumption that, yeah, like, he took that life, he's going to double strike us, and lo and behold, he does have a double striker in hand. So he's trying to break through that negate that we have, and he's opting not to go for that. Honestly, he probably still should have played double striker just to remove this. But, yeah. And obviously, we're not going to swing into his board in any way because there's no reason to. And we were able to top deck a Glorio, which is the thing that kind of defined this this turn for us, which is kind of cool. Yep, so we take him down to 2. And we decide to wing it. We decide to... Yep, so we swing for 35. And we hope to God that we can swing with this, combo with the Margarita, and go for the win. Hopefully 50 is enough. And 50 was enough. He had, like, 2 dead cards in hand. So, like, we got severely lucky on that particular run. Not seeing Shin definitely did hurt us. We wanted to play more aggressive, and unfortunately we weren't able to really play too aggressive in this particular matchup. We were kind of on the defense and on the backswing the entire match, but we were able to stabilize. He comboed more cards than he was able to. He comboed more than he probably should have for being unawakened, and we were just able to, you know, stabilize ourselves and play defensive with the amount of combo power we had. So, yeah, I mean, that was a close match, but we were able to see through it. So let's go to the next one. All right, so then we got into Super Boo, and this is a match that normally I think we should be able to. Normally we should be able to do decently well into. But obviously, though, we got to be able to see our pieces and get our plays off here. I was a little annoyed with this match just due to the fact that I never have internet connection issues. The only time that we ever really have issues with our internet and stuff is when there's like an outage in our area, or power outage, whatever have you. There was a weird moment in this where, like, I was going for... I think I was going for the game-winning kill, or I was going for, like... I was basically going for game. And... I got, like a connection error going on, and I was like, what? And I was like, what in the world's going on? I thought maybe he disconnected, but it was actually me who somehow disconnected, and I was like, what in the world? I was like, what's going on here? I was so annoyed. I was going for the win, and then out of nowhere, I had connection issues, which really kind of irked me. So obviously he ran into he played into my pansy, allowed me to draw. Yeah, but I chose not to pass. I chose to pass here because I didn't necessarily want him to awaken. If he was going to final explosion my board, like, I was perfectly fine with him doing so because it slows him down. So, yeah. So I mean, I think we're approaching this decently well. Now we can kind of go into him. We can lower down his life. We have secret rare for next turn. And he's decided to go down to 2, which is perfectly fine. So we're all set up, ready to go. And I don't know if it's going to show me where any issues lie. It might be a little bit in here because he started playing super defensive. It started locking down my cards. So I decided to just worry about his board. And obviously he's just going to let stuff go. We're going to play offensive into this. Because we want to get him... We want him to get rid of cards. In which he is. So we were able to really, like, put on the pressure here. Like, we got 3 cards on our board. We decided to let that go because there's no reason to really defend that. He decides to, you know, freeze our cards down again. We can just play defensive. And at this point, I think I choose to do secret rare. So... So now he's really got to contend. Now he's really got to contend with our board and do something about our board. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit of a sweep. I think here is it here though. Here he might be going in for double strike plays. No, he did play another one of these out. So we kind of let that go. We're at 5 cards, so I was perfectly fine with this happening. Like, this wasn't a big deal for me. I was fine with going down to 3 because I was trying to look for another secret rare, and we were able to find another secret rare. So secret rare goes down again next turn. Now he's got to deal with 2 of them. He decides to play defensive with this. And obviously, we're not going to swing at face. He's given us very, very little to work with. And I think it was in this moment, in this turn right here, I think, where... It was in this turn right here where I think the game froze. I think the game... I was getting ready to go for game this turn, and I think this was where I was having my connection issues, and unfortunately... it took me forever to get back in here. I was left with like a minute and a half of time, I think, by the time I got back in. And this is where, and you know, this was in the bag. Like I could have had this in the bag, I think. But the problem, the reason that we ended up losing, I'm not blaming the connection issues, by the way. I was just saying that I'm annoyed with the connection issues. But the reason we ended up losing this match was because he had so many of these double swinger kid boos. no amount of protection was going to be able to stop these hits from hitting. So I decide to risk it because I knew he was going to play this regardless. I knew he was going to play a second one regardless. In my head, I'm like, okay, he's got 3 energy up. He probably has this guy back. If he plays this, we're dead because there's no way we're getting around this otherwise. So he goes all in, which means we have to go all in. And I was really kind of hoping on taking the hit from this guy to then let us hopefully get some combo power in hand, but unfortunately it just did not work in that regard. So he got by the skin of his teeth, and despite us playing that match extremely well, like it's just that's the Super Boo deck. He's got the double swinging Boo, and that card is just hard to play around in this particular game. So like when it comes to aggression, Boo I think just does it a little bit better. So yeah, let's go to the next one. All right, so this last one we ended up going up against Jiren, and Jiren is probably one of our harder matchups, just due to the fact that 4-cost Jiren exists, and its over can only remove 25k bodies, as opposed to 30s. So I was a little skeptical in this one. I did not know if we were going to be able to see through it to the end. So I think for the majority of this match, if I remember correctly, we kind of played around, I think we played like Pansy quite a bit. Because we wanted to have some early offensive pressure. So let's see what kind of ends up happening here. So we're swinging into lead because there's no reason for us not to really swing into lead. We don't necessarily want him to get to 8 energy because that makes it a little bit harder for him to do anything against us with. Yeah, so I mean, he's using the Whis here. We don't necessarily care about this. We go into the Shin into our Goku, which is exactly what we want to do. We want to see this. And what do I swing with Pansy, right? And then do I not swing with anything else? No, I did go all in. Okay. So I decided to go for 45, and he does do a little bit of a misplay here, where he just took this life. He probably should have awoken and then take the life if he was going to do that, because now he missed out on an extra draw. Just kind of is what it is. So he's going to try and minus the Pansy off the board. We want to keep... I don't care if he minuses the Pansy. We need to try and keep Shin around. He plays Caulifla and then swings into us, which is just a little strange. So, and then he just forfeits because I think he probably realized what he was kind of doing. Between the Leader Awakening misplay and swinging into the Pansy to give us 2, like I think it was going to be a little too close for his liking. So I don't know what was going on in that match, but and I think we just got lucky, honestly. Like this wasn't even like us. This wasn't even like a match where like we won in spite of the bad matchup. It's just we got really lucky, I guess, in this particular one. So let's wrap it up. So that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with us today. Yeah, Super Saiyan Daima Goku, he's definitely a lot better now that he's got some of this additional support. Again, having some extra 10k combo and having some cheeky little double swinging action when you have a Glorio on board, this guy can come in clutch. But this Shin does put in work. He really does. You can run this guy in the other Daima deck too and have it work in your favor. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could just run this guy and have him work in your favor. Like this Shin does the exact same thing in that deck as it does in this deck. So it's not that it's not that hard to see both of these Daima Goku decks really being bolstered up by this card in any particular way. If anything, I mean, this deck's already kind of doing the low end aggression bit really well. But this card might actually benefit the regular starter Daima Goku deck better, just because it gives that deck a bit more additional aggression. So I could see this bolstering up the starter deck Goku a little bit more, but still, like, this is a great companion piece for this deck. So let me know what you guys think about this deck. Like and subscribe for more Fusion World content videos, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace.